Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we're going to do another video. Today we have PSVR 2 representing the PlayStation brand, and we have Meta Quest 2, a standalone VR system that you can pick up and literally play without anything else. So, on the PlayStation, we have the PlayStation Sense Move, Sense whatever VR Sense that they're calling these. These controllers right here, I'm not even gonna lie, man. I like this thing. I like how it feels. I like how it feels in my hand when it's strapped on there. It feels pretty dang nice. It feels pretty good. It does feel a little cheap, but so does this. They both feel cheap. This right here, this controller, the ergonomics of this controller here, not bad at all. Definitely gets the job done, whatever game you're playing. Feels really good. It's got the joysticks, for the MetaQuest 2, you got the joysticks, you got your face buttons in there. You can swap out AA battery. If you look at this, let me see if I can open this thing for you. It's been so long since I've changed the batteries, but I think you just kind of slide it down. You can pop that rechargeable in there. Got a rechargeable battery with my MetaQuest, with my Koi dock, my Koi Talk charger dock that I got for this. Really cool. You just plug a little thing into the side of that, plug it in there, set it on the dock, freaking charges up. Super incredible. Love that thing. $49.99 on Amazon. It was great. There's a link in the description if you want to check one of those out if you got a MetaQuest 2. This controller, I do like it. I mean, I've had it for a little while now. Played some games on there. But I'm going to tell you right now, I like the way this fits in my hand far better, especially for shooting games, for movement type stuff. I love it way better. I love it way more. That's like the first thing on here. Yeah, I love the way that feels. This controller just feels a little bit. It feels kind of awkward just because of how this is. Like, I know you're supposed to have it sitting in your hand like this, but like. It just doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel as good as that one. It doesn't feel as good as this VR Sense. It doesn't. It just doesn't. This like rocks my hand, feels better. It feels more comfortable to sit in there. If I need to like free my hand up and move around, I can. It rests on the top of my hand. I love that. I don't have to sit here and like fidget around with it once I got the strap on. Like it feels good. Feels good. And I got some pretty big hands, man. So I'm in love with I'm in love with the VR Sense 2 controller already. Like I said, man, this right here, it does get the job done. I'm gonna be honest with you right now. I hate using this for Beat Saber. It just feels a little bit smooth. I can't wait for Beat Saber to come to PSVR 2 so I can try that, because this is gonna feel so much cooler. All right, headset-wise, both of these have almost the same resolution. When I am using my MetaQuest 2, with it hooked to my PC, now this isn't going to be like a PC review for the MetaQuest 2, because that there definitely gives the MetaQuest 2 more of a value than what the PSVR 2 has, but you will need some things for that. Out of the box, MetaQuest 2, $399 right now. You get the two controllers, you get the rubber face thing, and that's pretty much it. You can buy different head straps, headbands, stuff like that to make it better for you. If you want to use it for your PC, you're going to have to spend another $80. Well, you can get a cheap cord. I tried one of those. They don't work that great. I got the actual Oculus version of it, 16 feet. Really nice fiber wire. It's really great. It plugs into the side. It's got a little strap. You could strap it to the side right here, so you can kind of keep it out of your way and have it not getting caught up or anything like that. Now, I will have some footage during this video for the MetaQuest 2. We're going to stay on that one for just a second. The MetaQuest 2, the footage that I'm going to be showing you is Automobilista 2, and it is I'm running that with a 3080 graphics card for it to look as good as that does in VR. And then with the PlayStation VR, Gran Turismo 7. So you're going to have some of that footage in this video, probably even while I'm talking right now, you'll be seeing Automobilista 2, and then when I start talking about the PSVR 2, you're going to start seeing the the Gran Turismo 7 VR. This MetaQuest 2 is an excellent thing. You can take it with you on the go. You can play it outside. You can play it anywhere you want. You can draw and make your own boundaries. 100% free of any cords if you want it that way. It does give you a pretty decent experience all on its own. But if you do use it to hook it up to Steam VR, that is a whole nother bag of that's a whole nother can of worms. That works good. You're going to have to download software on your PC. Sometimes it's kind of finicky. Once you get it working, it works great. When it doesn't work, it doesn't want to work. It's finicky. It is definitely finicky. So let's move on over to the PSVR 2, which is the new thing on the market. Now, this is only going to work with your PlayStation 5 at the time of this video. I know the dudes that made it so you can use PSVR 1. They are actively working to try to make this work on a PC. But as it sits right now, man, I don't know. Do I even need that? Because playing this thing with Gran Turismo 7, wow, what an incredible experience. Very, very good. It looks incredible. The sense of speed is phenomenal. The way the game feels is just incredible. It feels smooth. It feels responsive. It feels so immersive. It's not even funny. Now, for $550, if you just buy the vanilla base version, or $600 with the Horizon bundle, let me tell you what you get for that. You can do a regular, what's called an in-screen, like you can play your 2D games while using your PSVR headset. Yes, you do get 120 FPS support, I believe, because it's not making me turn it off. You also get your HDR support, which looks incredible. And then you also get the ability to make it a 55-inch TV all the way up to like a 270-inch flat screen panel with it's an OLED at 1080p. Now let me, so this is where you would start thinking you would see the really bad like screen door effect is when you're playing those in a 275-inch screen. Actually, no, it looks pretty good. It actually looks pretty good. And I've been using a monitor for a while, so I kind of, you know, it kind of slots right in there with a monitor, you know, going 1080p to 1440p. It really isn't that big of a difference in terms of like image quality. For the most part, it's pretty similar for the most part. But the fact that you get HDR on an OLED screen, as well as being able to play that, and like when you're looking at the screen, it's like pitch black everywhere around you. Pitch black, like it's inky OLED black. It's incredible. So I tested out today. I sat here earlier and I tested out. I don't know. Let me see. I tested out Forspoken. I tested out The Witcher 3. I tested out Sword Fairy Online. I tested out Last of Us Part 1, Cyberpunk 2077, Horizon Forbidden West, as well as God of War Ragnarok. I tested all of those games out on the 2D screen, and they look freaking incredible. Now, any one of those games that has a 4K fidelity mode, you can select that mode, the fidelity mode, and it will, just like on a monitor or 1080p TV, it will super sample that down, and you'll get a fuller, better looking image at 1080p, of course, but with HDR. It does support 120 FPS, but it does not, I repeat, does not give you access to VRR support. That sucks, but at the same time, not too bad. Now, I would have recorded some footage for you so that you could kind of see what it looks like, but unfortunately, once you go into a 2D game, it blacks out your main monitor. Like, it just blacks it out. I checked it a few times, it wasn't working. So I was just going through all these games. That is something that you are not going to get on a MetaQuest 2. You are not going to get the ability to put on a headset and have a 270-inch screen right in front of you that is OLED, that is HDR, and that has 120 FPS support for all of your games. You literally are buying, with this PSVR 2, you are getting a 1080p OLED screen that has 120 FPS refresh rate that also downsamples, that also subsamples that image down to give you a fuller looking image. Now, the first game I tested out on that was the God of War Ragnarok. I was like, I want to see how this one looks. So I got in there, and yeah, it looks fine. It looks a little bit softer. Like they both, like all of them look a little bit softer than what you would be seeing on a 4K screen. But it's it's like the pixels are full. You're not seeing the screen door. That's amazing. That was the first thing I was looking for. Was like, am I going to get a screen door in here? It's very, 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 very faint. It looks pretty dang good. It doesn't even matter if you go from 55 to the biggest one you can get. Like I was not seeing a whole lot of screen door effect on any of these games, on any of them. The benefit, the absolute benefit of playing these games on the headset while using that is games like Sword and Fairy. That game's a 1080p game. It comes out and it looks just fine. It looks soft, but it looks good. You're not seeing a whole bunch of breakup or checkerboard rendering or any of that. It just looks good. Another one, Forspoken. This is probably going to be my favorite way to play Forspoken on the PlayStation 5 going forward, is just through the headset. I put it on that 270-inch screen and just flying through there, doing all the parkour and the magic, and oh my gosh, it just looks so incredible. You've got the full range of whatever you can do with that. Even setting these games in their 4K mode and shrinking them down, it actually has a pretty decent response time as well. It actually didn't feel too bad at all. Like it wasn't all super juddery like it is on my regular OLED. It was definitely way more palatable, but the 60 FPS definitely feels better on all of those. You could play older games. You could be getting on there with older games like Red Dead Redemption 2, any of them old PS4 games that had checkerboard rendering. It's going to get rid of that. It's going to super sample it down into a nicer looking image, and it's fine. So that there is a major benefit of being able to pick up a PSVR 2 and actively use it just for other things other than, you know, just playing on that. So if you're out there and you're like, man, I need a new TV, or I need this or I need that, maybe you consider that, because you're getting OLED technology, you're getting 120 FPS refresh rate, as well as HDR content all on that screen. So that is a big overlooked feature that not a lot of people out there are talking about when it comes to this. On the MetaQuest 2, you can hook this up. The one good thing about MetaQuest 2 is you can hook this up to a powerful PC, and that's I'm gonna out of this review, that there's the thing that kind of makes both of these purchases like 100% worth it for me, is MetaQuest 2 has the ability to hook it up to your PC and run VR games from Steam VR, which like Half-Life Alyx, any of your racing games, and they look incredible in there, and it feels good. You get 120 FPS refresh rate. The LCD screen actually looks pretty dang good. It does look a little bit washed out compared to the OLED for sure. Like the OLED looks incredible compared to the washed out look that you get on the MetaQuest 2. But for $400, it was like $480 for that in the link cable. That's a pretty decent headset at 120 FPS, because I think your closest, cheapest is the HP Reverb G2, and that one is 90 hertz. 90 hertz at 1440p, where this one here goes almost to 4K. It's like pretty close. Crispness between both PSVR 2 and MetaQuest 2, there's not a lot separating them. They both look pretty dang crisp. You're not getting like a screen door effect in MetaQuest 2, and you're not getting that in the PSVR 2. They look pretty good. Mira. We're hearing a lot about Mira from other people that have bought a PSVR 2, and yes, this is a serious problem and can definitely but I think this is more of a person-on-person type thing. Your mileage is definitely going to vary. With MetaQuest 2, you're not going to have that problem ever, not one time, because it's inherent to an OLED panel. Where the PSVR 2 is the one that carries that OLED panel, you're more likely to experience this on the PlayStation VR 2. And I would say that you're more likely to experience the mirror effect in darker places, or when you have a lot of fog. When you have a lot of fog, it's going to give you that. To me, so everybody's tolerance is different. To me, mirror looks like film grain. That's what Mira looks like to me, is film grade. To other people, it could look like splotchy colors, or not being able to like produce colors. You'll have like brown and gray and all kinds of different colors in there, and it will just not look right. There are some of these screens that potentially could already have, like weak OLED panels that are not giving you that good color reproduction. But out of every game I've tried on mine, I haven't noticed like an overarching like negative effect when it comes to Mira. And in Call of the Mountain, there's plenty of fog in that game. There's plenty of fog effects in Gran Turismo. There's definitely some fog and a lot of darkness in Resident Evil Village, and then the same with Kayak VR on the PSVR 2. Definitely some of that stuff to look out for, but I think that Mira is going to affect people differently, and that will definitely, that's going to be like a person-to-person thing. For me, I don't suffer too much from it. As you can see, I usually sit pretty close to my screens anyways. So if I was going to notice Mira, I would notice it on my HD or on my OLED TV. But I don't notice that. Some other major things to really look for, we're going to talk about now, is going to be the foveated rendering for the PlayStation VR 2. I will be the first to admit, I thought it was a gimmick. I thought it was going to be a joke. I thought it was going to look like checkerboard rendering. I was pretty I just want just a regular image. It works, and it works good. It works good. When you are in the headset, you cannot see it for anything. Doesn't matter where your eyes gaze, how fast they gaze, it's pretty instant. You can't see it. Now, I have watched a few other reviews from other people that like other people in the community, and they would always talk about this ghosting thing. I'm not noticing the ghosting. I don't see that. When I'm moving my bow around in Call of the Wild, I'm not noticing that. When I'm using the paddles in Kayak VR, I'm not noticing that. When I'm driving in Gran Turismo and I'm not noticing any type of freaking... I'm not noticing it. I'm not seeing any kind of ghosting whatsoever. And I feel like that there is also a part of the Mira thing that some people are getting, is like, depending on how you deal with Mira, it might actually add like some ghosting effects in there too. But I'm not noticing that. I don't see that at all in any of these games, and I don't see them in the footage that I've recorded. I'm not noticing that whatsoever. It looks pretty dang good to me, and I'm not going to slow the picture down all the way to 1 to 2 frames a second just to try to see if there's like a ghosting thing. Like, I'm not seeing it. It's not affecting me, so I can't say anything about it. But I do plan on picking up more games as the generation goes on, and I will cover more. If I do notice that, or I do see that, it will probably be like an individual game-by-game basis that I'm going to be running into those types of issues. Whereas on MetaQuest 2, never, not a problem. Not a problem on this thing. The MetaQuest 2 has been phenomenal for the price. Well, see, when I bought my MetaQuest 2, it was still $299. So I got a good deal. By the time I packed in that cord for it, we're looking at a little bit under $400. And then the software I bought for it, they usually range anywhere from a few bucks all the way up to $40. Whereas PSVR 2, that looks like the AAA games are going to run you about $59.99. Call of the Mountains, $59.99. Resident Evil Village is $39.99. That's the game's been out for over a year now. And then a lot of them are kind of just right in that price range, anywhere from $20 up to the $60. So here's the thing, though, man. With the MetaQuest 2, you're not going to get this type of quality that you're going to get out of a PSVR 2. Like, you're not going to get that. I'm sorry, but the processors in the MetaQuest 2 just aren't strong enough to process the power, like the image quality that you're going to get out of PSVR 2. To date, and this includes games that I played on Steam VR while using the MetaQuest 2, Call of the Mountain is by far the coolest looking, most highest fidelity visual image representation in VR you are ever I've ever seen. There nothing comes close to that. Well, Gran Turismo 7 is also really high quality visuals, but it does definitely lack that over the top freaking just in your face plants and bushes and water and effects and smoke and particle effects and all of the stuff that you see in Call of the Mountain. That thing is freaking beautiful. Individual strands of hair. Like, it's cool. It is cool. It looks incredible. The foveated rendering makes everything look sharp and crisp in my eyes. I'm like, wow, this is beautiful. So you're not going to be able to get that on a MetaQuest 2. I'm sorry. You will not find that type of an image quality on your MetaQuest 2. And trust me, I've tried. I played Half-Life Alyx with maxed out settings, and yeah, it doesn't even come close to what you're getting in Call of the Wild. Like, it doesn't. But then again, that thing was designed for older generation. I think that PlayStation VR 2 is ushering in the next generation of VR graphics. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, will graphics get better on the PC? Of course they will. Obviously. Like, it's going to get better. Whatever they can do on a PlayStation VR 2, they will be able to do better on a PC. That's just inevitable. Like, that is inevitable. But when it comes to consumer grade in your house, easy to pick up, plug and play type equipment, the PSVR 2 hands down is by far my pick. It's my pick out of MetaQuest 2 and, of course, PSVR 1. The PlayStation VR 2 is a highly it is a high quality experience. Anywhere from the controllers all the way down to I like the fact, like, I keep saying that, like, I wish these felt heavier, but then again, no, I don't, because it's a VR experience. So I kind of want them to be light like they are. I do like that. It's taken me a few minutes to get used to, simply because of the fact that I'm going from the DualSense Edge now, which feels like it's a little bit beefier and feels better in my hand. Feels like it's got some more meat. I love that, man. I've spent almost $1,000 with PlayStation in just the last 2 months, and I don't regret one dime of that. I don't regret buying my MetaQuest 2. I don't regret buying my PSVR 2. I love these things, man. These are great, and I'm cool, and it's exciting. It's exciting. I'm sorry. To see the quality of the content that came out with the launch of the PSVR 2, I'm blown away. It's blown me away. It's made me happy. I love looking at it. I love playing it. When I first loaded into Resident Evil freaking Village, I'm not even going to lie to you. I was starting to get that disgusted. Like, man, I can't believe the visuals are going to look like this and this. And then right when you get out of the training area, the tutorial thing, and into the game, oh gosh, yep, it looks incredible. So seeing that, Resident Evil, Call of the Mountain, Gran Turismo, and even Kayak doesn't look too bad. Like, it doesn't look bad. It looks pretty good, but it's not anywhere close to the other three. Seeing that quality makes me a believer in PlayStation VR 2, and I think that if you saw that quality and this was something that you were already into, if you've already gotten like a PSVR or a MetaQuest 2 or anything, if you're interested in VR, man, I think Sony might be onto something. I think they might be able to pull this off this generation, guys. Like, this was the one thing that I hoped for the most when it came to PSVR 2 is, please, Sony, do it right. Do it right. Support this thing. Bring high quality content. Make people believe in you again, like, and I was worried about the magic foveated rendering. I was worried about it. But I'm here to tell you that it's incredible, and it looks great, and it does the job, and it's fast, and it's smooth, and it's responsive, and it just gives you a level of immersion that I did not think was going to be possible in VR without spending $1,000 on a headset. And I'm not even going to lie, guys. I was going to buy a Valve Index and just use that sim racing on PC. But I'm so glad that PlayStation brought this, because let's think about this. Not only do you have F123 coming out this year, you also have WRC from Codemasters, both of which are going to potentially have a VR mode at launch for PSVR 2, and then more racing games. As they continue to come out, you will start seeing more. Anything that comes from Slightly Mad Studios will probably launch with a VR mode for PSVR 2. Anything that comes, because on PC, I'm telling you, all these games on PC have a VR mode. All of these games, everything, Project Cars 1, 2, 3, Automobilista, Assetto Corsa Competizione. That's one I would really love to see get VR treatment for PSVR 2 is Assetto Corsa Competizione. And I hope they are. I hope they're building that out. I hope they're doing that for the fans. I hope that it's like a pretty simple port that they can just get that and bring it right over, because I feel like it would run and look pretty dang good on here. Especially even if they just leave the visual quality the way it is on the PC. I think that would be it would be fine. It would be fine. It would definitely do the job and get the job done. Especially with that 110 FOV. That is another thing that is a little bit better on the PSVR 2 than the Quest. The Quest is about what 98 build, like a 98. It doesn't look bad, but it does look like when you're driving, you got like something like right here, whereas PSVR is about like right here. So that extra just a little bit actually does add to the immersion just a little bit. And you can actually make it a little bit more wider on the PSVR, but you're going to sacrifice the inside of your eyes and it might make things kind of blur out a little bit. I do like the way that you adjust that. The Meta Quest, it's just boom, boom, boom. You just click the little lenses. You can just move the lenses from, you just move these lenses from side to side. If you're up here, well, you only got, and you only got like two, three, like maybe very, like you've got a couple different varying to get your eyes to center up and be all right. Whereas the PSVR, like you just turn this dial right here on the top and it will move it in and out, which is pretty cool. Once you get it all lined up and everything, it looks incredible. It looks fun. It's very nice. It's a very good experience. So I'm going to let you guys go now. There's a lot to think about right there. I hope I did a good job of explaining this. MetaQuest 2 versus PlayStation VR 2. I definitely put PlayStation VR 2 as the winner out of this one. It just simply is just having the OLED HDR TV in that right there is enough to push it over the top for me. Just the way the Gran Turismo 7 feels on it. Yes, it is incredible. And the superior feeling Sense VR Sense 2 controllers. Yeah, definitely amazing. So, all right, man. If you guys like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.